As America faces the triple challenges of a pandemic, historic unemployment, and a reckoning over systemic racism, we wanted to talk to someone who's trying to help. Darren Walker is the president of the Ford Foundation. The organization is devoted to social justice and the arts. It does not take donations. Instead, the foundation, with a $13 billion endowment, gives away at least $500 million a year. The money goes to groups like the NAACP's Legal Defense Fund, the Equal Justice Initiative, and the Smithsonian. This year, the group is giving away even more. We spoke with Walker at the organization's empty headquarters in New York City.
Yeah, so you want to go to my office?
Yeah, let's go over there. Darren Walker heads one of the wealthiest charities in the world. I love this. You rest, you rust.
That's right. And the other is pressure is a privilege. And that's something I firmly believe.
In this tumultuous year, Walker felt the pressure to give more than usual. So the foundation made a bold move to borrow $1 billion.
We had to figure out a strategy to give away more money. So we issued the first ever social bond by a foundation.
Was that scary?
No, it wasn't scary. It was necessary. We're at a time when foundations have to do more.
Mm-hmm.
The question in 2020 for wealthy, privileged people and institutions is not how much do I give back? It's how much am I willing to give up?
Are you willing to give up your privilege? Walker asked in a recent New York Times op-ed, in which he described being at a black tie charity event. You write in that piece, I had the ominous sense that we were eating lobster on the Titanic. Mm-hmm. That's a sinking ship.
Unless we recognize the need to build a more equal America, we will be eating lobster on the Titanic, because we will all go down.
Detroit declared bankruptcy today. It's the largest American city ever to do that.
In 2014, after Detroit declared bankruptcy, the Ford Foundation committed $125 million to the city. Did it work?
The city is challenged, but when you consider that 7 years ago, the street lights weren't working, garbage wasn't being picked up, I think we can say that it was worth it.
Ford car or truck is the lowest possible cost.
The foundation, started with the profits of the Ford Motor Company in 1936, has long been committed to social justice. On the walls of its New York headquarters is a 1963 ad from a New Orleans newspaper.
And it said, "Notice to all white citizens, stop buying Ford cars and trucks."
This was directly targeting the Ford Foundation.
Absolutely, because the Ford Foundation was seen as a financier of
civil rights
integration and civil rights.
The foundation is now independent of Ford, but Walker knows, like the country itself, it carries a complicated legacy.
I'm lucky enough to lead a foundation that was founded by a man who was a notorious anti-Semite and racist, but he was also a great industrialist. I'm able to hold both narratives.
And you're saying as a country we need to embrace our flaws.
Because we are, as a nation, both of those narratives.
The 60-year-old Walker, who now wields great influence in powerful circles, came from modest beginnings. How did a gay black kid from Texas with a single mom make it here?
That might make it emotional.
Walker's mother was a nurse's assistant.
She was determined that I be in Head Start.
What did she know about Head Start?
Well, she knew that a lady in 1965 walked up to our little shotgun house in Ames, Texas, and told her about this new program that President Johnson had put in place for kids like me. That was all she needed to hear.
Walker went on to the University of Texas and a career on Wall Street before turning to philanthropy.
America is not just a country. America is an idea. The idea of mobility and a better life for your children. We are asphyxiating that idea.
Say his name! George Floyd!
Walker sees something changing in the country after the death of George Floyd at the hands of police.
Racism is no longer deniable.
You work with a lot of white Americans. Do you think they're ready to confront racism?
I am hearing CEOs, leaders across this country talk about racism in ways I have never heard them. We're in uncomfortable conversations, and that is going to be the first step that allows us to begin to excavate and heal as a nation.
It's so interesting what Darren Walker and the Ford Foundation are doing by borrowing this money to give away more. Most foundations are actually trying to protect their assets right now, being very careful in a very turbulent economy. He's like, no, we're needed more than ever. We got to get out there. And he's putting his money where his mouth is.
Is he stepping further in areas he hadn't stepped before?
I think by borrowing money, and it hasn't been done by a philanthropy like that before, he is. But he's being very vocal about fundamental change that needs to come, not just in philanthropies, but by the people who run the country and have advantages that other people don't.
Okay. Well, I know he is a lover of the arts. He is a lover of history. It'd be interesting to see where that money goes. Great story.